Hey, no, listen, I'm just asking the question. Look, let me say this. I want, man, anyway, whatever. I want people to know that I don't know what I want people to know. Never mind.
What?
I don't know. Look, I'm telling you, I'm trying to weigh.
Come on with it.
I'm just saying, I've been praying a lot lately, and I've had a lot of people asking me questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a lot of people, kind of just really confused about my take on Lecrae and the Reach family. And the thing that bothers me is that people immediately assume that when you challenge someone that you've got to be angry at them, or that you're mad, or that you are in some way you're selfish, you're self-seeking, that the fact that you would say something. And I'm like, man, listen to this show. What issues of concern to the church have we not discussed? You understand what I'm saying? And I feel like what would have made me a sellout or would have made me fake would have been to have concern and to have issues over this and then just ignore it because, man, I really like Lecrae.
Right.
Because I do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But I
people
think,
get that? Do people understand that?
I think this whole thing, like we were saying before, is kind of a sign of where the church is to me.
Yeah.
Because there's some people that look at this issue of collaboration and things like that and say, oh, it's not a big deal, But I think that's where our church is on a lot of issues.
Just let that go.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Don't judge, Don't be like that, Don't be that type of Christian, So I think that's the attitude with a lot of different issues with Christianity in the church in America. And it's like, man, this is just another one of those things, I believe, So you have people that say, why are you even talking about that? Well, because it's a problem, because it's alignment with the ungodly, and it has a very destructive tendency.
Discussion. It's worthy of discussion, and I've had people accuse me of not handling this situation biblically. And I want to say you're wrong. And I want to say my conscience is clear because I extended several invitations for us to discuss it. So when I'm told that that's, coming to do the show, whatever, is not a part of the ministry focus, I'm like, well, then what is?
Right.
What is? Like what, And so anyway, I just, my conscience is clear. My conscience is clear regarding that.
It should be.
Now, I went back and I'll tell you, and y'all know, because y'all kept asking me, have you written it? The Sakio was like, then post it then, And I weighed this heavily because and I went back and I read the post because, every time somebody reads it or whatever and they, message me or email me or whatever, people are like, man, Lecrae is our darling.
Yeah.
And he is, but that doesn't mean he can't be wrong, people.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
right.
I wish people would get that. Like, if only the people you don't like are wrong, like, come on now.
Meeke, what you got to understand is there are some fans out there who, no matter how you say it, no matter what type of rapping is in, if you're saying anything that may be opposed at all, you're hating, you're judging. They don't even really read it. They're kind of like, they just go off, So there's a lot of people like that out there,
And I feel bad for them. I really do, because I'm like, there's one thing to not know. Then there's another thing to not know and not want to know. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, but I don't want you telling me. Don't you tell me, you know.
Right.
Anyway, so today we're going to not really press on that issue because, again, I'm not trying to just keep pressing and hammering on that issue. Like, I've got other things to do. And I'll tell you this. I knew that when the article was released, and again, it's an op-ed, an opinion editorial, okay? It's my opinion, right? Based on what I've witnessed, okay? I knew that I was going to have to deal with it.
Right.
And I told you that. I was like, man, I'm just, because, you got to deal with this once it's out. And you got, and I'll say this too. If you are bold enough to assess a situation based on your observation, then you should be bold enough to stand behind it. So I'm not mad about the fact that I have to now defend my remarks. You know what I'm saying? But I think, like, there are some people who just don't want to see. They don't want to see. You know what I mean? They don't want to see it. Let me tell you something. not FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Okay.
Right. Okay. In a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. And I remember because we like to watch documentaries. Right.
Right.
So I was watching this documentary about FDR,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a line in the documentary that just grabbed me and has stuck with me. Like I just can't get it out of my head. I'm going to tell you, they were talking about how when he was struck with polio and how, he was no longer able to walk, they would put all this work and all this exercise into making him appear to walk.
Yeah.
Okay, they would make him appear to walk.
Right.
He would be in excruciating pain. They would have him propped up. They would have him standing. And then as his health really began to deteriorate, now listen to me. As his health really began to deteriorate, he couldn't even get out of his wheelchair. So he would be in different places in the wheelchair. And the person narrating the documentary said it was amazing, though, because they said, even though he was in the wheelchair, so many people didn't know he was crippled. And then they said this, people just didn't want to see what they didn't want to see.
Exactly. And that's
Boom.
exact that's
They
it
just
right
don't
there.
want to see what they don't want to see.
Right.
You don't want to have a president that's crippled, so he's not in a wheelchair.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And so what I'm saying is, even if you had probably told those people, our president can't walk, right? They would have been like, nah, he can walk. Look, he walked from his car to this. And one of them where they showed how the sons were gymnasts. And the sons they built up their upper body strength to be able to prop up their dad.
Right.
And make him appear to walk.
Right. And all the while he was leaning on them.
He wasn't walking.
He wasn't walking. You see, that's the thing. You hit it right on the head. There are people who don't want to know. Like, they don't want to believe that there's something that's wrong.
I respect you so much. I love you so much. I appreciate what you've done so much that even if you should get off track, I'm not going to say anything, because to my detriment, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. And I want to say this. We did that. We did that. Man, like this didn't just start, with people. And I'll say this, man, as a journalist, as someone in communications, when somebody says, oh, what do you think about Lecrae? I'm like, well, I mean, I'm fine with Lecrae. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you keep watching, and you watch how it's playing out. And then so what I say is this, how far do you let it play out? Do you then say, man, I knew something wasn't right about that?
Right.
Because hindsight is always 20/20.
Right.
Every time you look back, you can see what, and I want to, man, I wish people could just be objective for a minute. Just be objective for a minute. And I'll say this too. I think some people have totally missed the point of the article, because some people are trying to make me say things that I'm not saying. I think I may have mentioned that yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
Some people are making me say I hate Christian hip hop. You're wrong. That's not what I'm saying.
If you listen to the show at all, okay? We don't hate.
Some people are making me say that I don't want Lecrae. And this is the worst, the best of the worst. Some people are making me say that I don't want Lecrae to be a missionary. I don't want him to reach people.
We were missionaries.
My goodness.
So
no, Duncan, you miss it.
Right.
Well, come on now. We had Michael Jr. on this show. He talked about doing his stand-up routine in secular clubs, and he talked about the fact that how he could go into these clubs and you might have a comedian come before and after him. He said, and it's just like poison in the water. It's poison. And people may laugh and think it's great. He said, and then all of a sudden they get clean water. He said, and the people are like, whoa.
But he's not doing the routine with Eddie Murphy.
No, they're not together. and okay, so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
So far,
he's not putting out DVDs where it's one night only, Michael Jr. and Eddie Murphy. Michael Jr., don't let me down. Do not.
Because as soon as you say
let me down. Then I've got another piece coming out. Piece that pass all understand. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I just, I wish people could understand, like, I'm not angry. I'm not angry at Lecrae. And I tried to go back and
look, you don't even have to, look, it's good. Because I think that the feathers need to be ruffled. People need to, be examine this stuff.
Right.
It's not just like you're pulling something out of the hat, So I feel like this has been great. because it starts a conversation that needs to be started. You know,
Right.
something that needs to be said.
Right.
And so I feel like, you know, this is just that.
And you know, so here we are part of the team of American Family Association.
Uh-huh.
And I'll say this, you know, when we call out issues generally, right? When we call out issues, it's not because somebody showed up at a party and we didn't like the color of their shoes.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You can wear
It's not a
people out
preference
on
thing.
your fickleness.
Yeah.
Okay, you can wear people out on that. This is not, man, this is not all, we don't like your methods.
Mm-hmm.
Methods, okay, then don't listen.
We're about truth, wisdom, empowerment. Urban Family Talk.